Chapter 1. I suppose I'll always remember this as the summer that Rue learned to drive and I learned to read minds. He got his license in June, was promptly insured on his mum's car, and since then the car has been a part of him, a part of us. They are always interviewing TV actors who say things like, "Really? New York City was the fifth character on the show, and I suppose you could apply the same logic to Mrs. O'Callaghan's Nissan Micra. Rue calls her Linda. My mum calls it the Galloping Maggot. Maeve, she calls up the stairs. The Galloping Maggot is outside. I bounced down into the hallway, heavily, not having quite spoken in my Doc Martens. Not quite broken in my Doc Martens, the new leather rubbing away at the skin. Mum is giving the dog his eye drops, trying to hold his head steadily, her fingers prising open an eyelid. I take my little drawing string handbag from the coat stand in the hall. "Take your coat." "I don't need it," I replied. It's balmy. I realized then that my mother didn't say that out loud, and that I'm responding to a coat request that was only thought, never uttered. She looks at me oddly. Rue may have taken to driving quickly, but telepathy is a gift that comes slowly, strangely, and ideally with a lot of eye contact. You should really know when someone's mouth is moving. I double back, wary, tense. I thought I had heard you say. Tutu wrestles his head free and tries to wander off. Mum snatches his back. "It's not that warm. It's August. It's Ireland." I shrugged and head for the door. Her voice again. "Do you need money?" I stall. "No, Nuala paid me yesterday. I'm grand. I've been doing shifts at the Definition. That's the New Age shop, if you remember from the previous book. The occult shop in town. Since school finished, Nuala can't afford to pay me much, but given that all I seem to buy is tarot cards and McDonald's, it generally lasts me." Another pause. "There's a tenner in my bag if you want to take it." "I'm fine, Mum. Just..." The dog is free now, each drop having been effectively applied to the outer rims of his eyes. Mum giving up and holding him still. "Take it," she says, "just in case. Everyone still thinks the ritual was a suicide attempt. Oh, Fiona lied all right." She played the part of the silly drama student, trying to construct a stabbing scene with her friends so well that we were convinced everyone believed us, not realizing that they were merely humouring us, waiting for a moment when things had calmed down and they could find out what really happened. It's made my telepathy very useful. When I concentrate, I can see the light in people. I find my mother's light, a sort of lilac tinged with silver, and I follow it straight to her until I know exactly what she wants to hear. I know when to reassure her, when to be elusive, when to imply that there is more information to disclose and that I will tell her, but just not today. It has been 5 months since the ritual, 5 months since Lily O'Callaghan disappeared for all of February, since a spell and a struggle with a knife almost killed me and Rue, since she climbed out of the river, dripping wet and angry. She's not interested in lying, like the rest of us are. Her answer is clear every time. I was the river, she says, a touch of mourning in her voice, and the river was me. The most common thought my mother has is worry, which is not surprising, but the shape of the worry is. She is constantly thinking that I have gone to a place beyond her, a place where I am sure to meet danger. She wants very badly for me to need her, so she tries to give me money, and when I take it, feels better and happier. Okay, I say, taking it out of her bag. I kiss her on the cheek. Thanks. And the lilac light glows. Fiona is in the front seat, and seeing me emerge from the house, gets out to join Lily in the back. It's very pleasing, this little car hierarchy. I'm the girlfriend, and therefore I sit in the front. I have always admired those girls in school. In relationships, the sort of elder stateswoman energy they give off. The first lady air of dignity. I never thought I would be one of them. Now that I'm firmly that kind of girl, a girlfriend girl, I can't help but feel older, more legitimate somehow. Rue likes to use gender-neutral phrases where he can, but he and I haven't found a word that fully replaces boyfriend yet. We've googled it. Lover is icky and technically incorrect. Partner is too dull, too grown up. After that, start falling into terms like my sweetheart, and the idea of saying that in front of people is nauseating to both of us. Sometimes I say joy friend as a joke, but mostly I just say Rue. All right, Chambers, Fiona says, as she flicks the front seat forward, ready to climb into the back. Doc's still giving you trouble? That's the Doc Martens. I grimace down at my feet, my heels still bleeding despite the 2 pairs of socks I'm wearing. How can you tell? You're walking like a duck on Prozac. Can you sort me out? Cost you a milkshake. Done. Go on, take off your shoes in the car. Then we climb into the car and I kiss Rue on the cheek. His long earrings brushing brushing my nose. I bought him these for his birthday back in June. Long seed pearls on a golden chain, the kind he fell in love with when we watched Shakespeare in Love together. He's into a kind of Elizabethan look at the moment. He's trying to track down a ruff to wear out on stage. Hey you, he says, putting his arm around me. How are the shoes? You could tell too. You walked out of the house like you've only just achieved sentience. Lily, in the back, says nothing. She has no suggestion of what I might look like when I walk, and it's not because she wants to preserve my feelings. When we were kids and Lily's hearing aid wasn't as good as the one she has now, she would find group conversations hard. She would lose track and eventually zone out, and people would think she was being deliberately rude. That's not what's happening here. If you were to see the 4 of us out together, you would probably think we were 4 best friends, and that the best friendship held an equilibrium that shot in all directions. But if you looked closer, really watched us, you would see that Lily rarely speaks directly to me and often looks out the car window when I'm speaking. My heart sinks a little when I catch her blank expression in the rear view mirror. Please, I think, please make fun of me. Fiona, she says instead, can you help me tomorrow with my maths stuff? Maths, I say, in summer? Silence. Then Fiona, Lily is leaving cert prep. Aren't you, Lil? Yes, she answers bluntly. Even the mention of the leaving cert has me swaying with nerves. No one expected much from me towards the end of last year. Everyone assumed I was too traumatized by Lily's sudden disappearance and my odd role in it. A tarot reading, a strange card, a public fight, and then poof, the girl gone. Then she turns up on the same day that I'm hospitalized with wrist wounds. It was all too odd for anyone to compute. I was frequently checked up on, which I hated, and then I was ignored, which I loved. There's nothing that annoys me more than is she okay look, closely rivaled by an aren't you brave, head tilted. It's not going to be the same this year. Teachers won't leave me alone. It's our exam year after all. I don't know what I'm going to do, I say grimly. You'll be fine, Rue says. It's not as bad as everyone says. They love making a big drama out of exams. Easy for you to say. You're basically a genius. He pulls down his mirror and starts doing his eyeliner, black ringing around his eyes. My heart thumps a little. A sucker for eyes that smolder like burning coal, even if it's via a Rimmel pencil. The steering wheel moves effortlessly as he does his makeup, the gear stick shifting without his touching it. No wonder he learned to drive so quickly, when he can talk to the car without putting his hands on the wheel. I'm not a genius, I'm just good at taking tests, he replies. It's what he always says whenever I talk about the huge gap between our school careers. Anyway, results aren't for weeks. His tone is breezy. Rue's problem aren't so much about his results, but the way in which he plans to throw his results away. Everyone's expecting him to get at least 550 points, which is enough to get into some of the best schools in Ireland, as well as in UK. Rue, however, has already decided that he wants to go to Kilbeg University, which is nowhere near a top university. His band, small private ceremony, is starting to get some recognition, and he feels like breaking up with the band for a different country at this point would be stupid. His parents, unsurprisingly, feel the opposite. You taking those tortured devices off, Maeve, or what? Yeah, okay then. I take off my boots and socks, but then deal with the problem of getting my feet to Fiona. I curl into a ball and roll my body around, sticking my legs through the space between the driver's and the passenger seat. What are you doing? Rue says, his face almost colliding with my foot. My heels are in agony. I see, Fiona's going to heal them. Then I laugh, because I hadn't realized that both words sounded exactly the same. She's going to fix them, I mean. I can't Can't you wait until? Fiona holds my feet. Jesus, Maeve, you know where there is such a thing as polish remover? I mean, you don't have to wait until it just erodes off your toes. I have a job, Fee. I'm a career woman. Right, she says, and I feel her small, warm hands wrap around my ankles and I'm upside down in the passenger seat. I feel the heat under her hands, and there's an odd sensation of tightness in my legs, of skin building and knitting together. It's still incredible to me that she can do this, even though she has done everything from banishing period cramps to making stitches dissolve. You are incredible, I say. Thanks, babe. I then try to slide my feet back and in the process kick Rue in the head. The car swerves slightly and we all yelp. Within half a second, it's fine. He's regained control again, but he's annoyed. Maeve, he says snappishly, you couldn't have waited? Waited until what? I reply. I don't have anywhere except here. This is a problem for us. Our gifts are starting to grow, from little kittens in a cardboard box to full-grown up tomcats. We need our own space. It's not like we can risk normal people seeing us. People think we are weird enough already. But it's hard. Fiona's house is out because her cousin Joss is there during the day. She's a very spiritual lady and intuitive. The O'Callahans are too jumpy and Mr. O'Callahan works from home. My mum is on summer break from college. All that's left is the car. Linda. Lily clears her throat. I've been practicing, she says. Fiona and I look at her. Rue looks in the rearview mirror, scrutinizing his sister. Where? We all ask it. A choir of voices. School. Lily is in the Chucky room, I believe. Well, we'll have to wait and see until chapter 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye-bye.